Hey everybody, how are you? Welcome to Break Time with Pastor V. And let's move that leaf out of the way there. There we go. Sorry about the weird angle this morning or afternoon. Let's get you out of my nose. All right, I'll just hold it. Anyway, hey, how are you? The other day, I was trying to get on and trying to get on. That was on Monday, and I couldn't figure it out. I thought something was wrong with me. It wouldn't record and everything. And turns out I got a message from Shannon telling me that Facebook was down. I hadn't been online all morning. So anyway, thank God it's up now, and we can continue sort of where we left off. Hey Shannon, hey Cheryl, good to see you both. Thank you for being here on Break Time with Pastor V. So, when I was young in college, I used to do some modeling. And every now and then in a fashion show, you'd hear somebody screaming out, "You better work it!" Right? And so, or work it, work it. The producer, anyone would be yelling, "You work it, work it, work it." So, talking about working the ramp. And so, that term sort of came back to me. I still want to talk about recovery. And one of the processes of recovery from loss we talked about was be willing to do the work. And I want to just come back here because so many times we hear people say things like, "I want it all back. I'm taking back what the devil stole from me." We experience loss with grief, a loss of jobs, all kinds of loss. And we have a recovery process. And one of the important, is equally as important, is the process of being, sorry about that. One of the important things is being willing to work, to do the work. And so in 1 Samuel 30, when David, same story, he came to Ziklag, he lost everything. The men that he had led to battle came back, and their families were gone. The city was burned. Their possessions were all gone. And so David finally seeks God. He encourages himself. He seeks God. He gets permission. He obeys God. He's generous on his way there to others, showing kindness. And then he engages in battle. Well, it says that the battle went from dawn one morning all the way to the evening of the next day. So it was a long battle. So I just want to remind you that wherever you are, stay in the battle. It's okay that it takes a while. Be willing to do the work. Here's another thing I thought about. Recovery does not mean the same. Or once the process of recovery has begun and you regain your possessions, and you're restored, it does not necessarily mean you are the same. Let's take, for instance, the recovery of loss after death. Okay, it's a process, but you're not in the same position. When David got his wife and his 2 wives and his children, and they got everything back, they weren't the same. He wasn't the same after experiencing the loss and the reward. They weren't the same after being captured. It was sort of a new normal, and there was still a lot of work to be done. They had to go back to Ziklag, and remember, they went back to a place that had been burned. So they went back there, and there was just more work. So trust me, enjoy or embrace. I won't say enjoy because it's not always an enjoyable process, but embrace the process of recovery. And I posted because I read this post this morning on speaking of the subject, and the author noted something very similar to this. He says that God's word does not need to be validated. We don't validate God's word by our experiences. God's word is God's word, and it's true. But we need God's word to activate faith and power within inside of us. So remember, we recover from loss, but part of that recovery is a process. So don't be discouraged. If you are recovering from depression, hey, let's do the work. It's okay. Embrace the process. Know that it's there. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining. Hey, Karen, glad you caught the tail end of this. Know that God's with you through the work, and the process does not mean you end up the same. You will be forever different, but you will be what God has processed you to be. So enjoy it, embrace it. I keep saying enjoy it. I don't want to say enjoy because I don't want you to think that the process is always enjoyable. The results are, but the process isn't. And so it's okay if you're not enjoying this process right now. But remember that our God is faithful, right? And so as you enjoy the process of recovery, know that God's got you. And like David, encourage yourself, stay before the Lord, seek God's will, obey God's will, do what he tells you to do, be generous, kind to others during the process, and remember that the journey requires work. So you better work it. God bless you. Thank you. And I will see you on Friday, same time. Blessings to you. Hey, don't forget, submit your prayer request to prayer@ztccla. That's prayer@ztccla.com. And then join us Friday morning, 6 a.m. on Instagram. Our Instagram is at Zion. No, Shannon, what's our Instagram? I can't think of it right now. It is at Zion Temple LA. At Zion Temple LA on Instagram. That's where we are. Alrighty. God bless you. Oh, Shannon notes, recovery from loss is not always the same either. You're absolutely right. It's not the same for any of us. Just seek God, and He'll take you through the pattern that's right, the process that's right for you, and that's the important.